Hey guys, welcome back to the Subpar Grappling Podcast. I'm your host, Alan, the Subpar Grappler, and I have a great interview for you guys today. It's our friend Matthew Burton. I met him at Rolls Ferruti a couple months ago, and we got to train a little bit before the competition started. He's a great guy, a great inspiration, and he's doing his own thing too, making big moves over there in Georgia. And so I'm super happy to talk to him. And with that said, let's get to the interview. Hey Matt, thanks for joining me. Welcome to the Subpar Grappling Podcast. And to
What is
introduce, this is Matthew Burton, host of the Saying, oh man, I keep forgetting that. It's the Saying Soldier Project. Yeah, the
yes,
one
sir.
in the flesh, host of the Saying Soldier Project. Welcome to the
Yes,
show,
sir.
Matt.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's an honor to be on, man. I really enjoy talking to you. Like you're one of you're a good brother, so I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man, glad to have you, man. So, in this podcast, I have people who train jiu-jitsu and some who don't train jiu-jitsu. And so I tried to make it to where we talk about combat sports, but we also talk about how we deal with our everyday lives with disabilities. And I kind of let my guests just kind of introduce themselves and how they want to think about their condition. So go ahead and, introduce yourself and, who are you? What do you deal with? What's going on?
I got you. What's up, everybody? I'm Matt Burton, aka the Saiyan Soldier. I'm 35. I live in Georgia. Um, I have cerebral palsy. Uh, I do jujitsu and I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I also do CrossFit for my strength and conditioning. But I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when I was about 3 months old. From the way my mother explained it to me, she noticed, her and my dad both noticed that I was talking early, but I couldn't sit up straight. So they took me to the doctor, found out I had CP, and went from there. It's been a wild journey, man. It's
Uh,
been a ride,
yeah.
but honestly, I wouldn't trade it for the world. They actually told my parents that I would never
Oh,
walk,
wow.
or yeah, I was part of the reason is not only because of CP, but like because I'm born prematurely
Mhm.
too. But and that's what causes CP. But yeah, they told my parents I would never walk, so learning how to walk was a major, major challenge. And, growing up as a child, you don't understand why it's, so hard for you. You don't understand why you're having to go through all of this trauma just to walk like everybody else
Uh,
around you and do the normal task that everybody else is
yeah,
doing.
for sure.
And eventually, even as a kid, as an adaptive person, you figure out you can do it. It's just a little bit different for you, and that makes for a difficult childhood.
Uh,
But I mean, I've had a great support system. My family, my parents especially, gave me every ounce of will, you know, to be able to do what I wanted to do. I tell the story all the time. My One of my favorite sports was basketball, and I was watching basketball with my dad one day. I was probably about 6 years old. And I was like, Dad, do you think I could play basketball? I don't remember how we got on it, but I was like, you think I could play basketball one day? My dad straight up, my dad he was military, so like he was stern, so he was like, Matthew, you can do whatever you want. You're just gonna have to work really, really hard to do it. And he literally was like, nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. And that wasn't him trying to, be difficult. That was him, preparing me, like letting me know, like it's gonna be tough, like, but you can do it.
that,
And I took that to heart, and I've pushed myself to limits I never thought I would get to.
that's awesome, man. That's a great story. That's really encouraging. So how did you find your way into a jiu-jitsu gym? So, we fight each other for
Eh,
fun, we beat each other up, you know.
That's a that is a wild story, but I'll try to keep it as short as I can. Um, Grew up loving professional wrestling, watching it with my dad.
Okay.
So, so I naturally was like, I want to do that. So you know, idolizing the guys from wrestling, like you wanna figure out how to do that. So you get into where, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Well, growing up for us, growing up in the '90s, you had Power Rangers.
All right.
Power Rangers comes out, so instantly I'm hooked. So now I want to do wrestling and martial arts, and I'm like, how? But how can I do it? And I never like mentioned it to my parents because I knew it was gonna be difficult. And like, back then it's like
Mhm.
for me with my CP, I'm like, I don't know if I want to actually take martial arts classes. I don't know if I can because I'm a child. I don't understand. Like, and
Yeah.
at the time, like my balance wasn't sufficient enough for me to be able to do it. So I would just imitate what I was seeing on TV.
Mm.
Um, and I would do it my own way too. So like, there's that. And then, so growing up, we were living in Alaska originally because my parents were stationed there
Okay.
with them being army. We ended up moving to Georgia, uh, and when we moved here, I was trying to get into sports, so I ended up becoming a manager on my high school's football team. Lot of fun, lot of fun. That was where my competitive nature came out. Like I could always tell that I was competitive, but like being on a team really brought it out of me.
Yeah.
So after my first year in high school, I started to think, all right, I want to do something else. Oh, I got to backtrack a little bit. So being a manager on a football team, I realized I was competitive, right? So I'm like, I want to figure out a way to compete. My mind goes back to, um, my mind goes back to, I used to like wrestling a lot. I wonder if I could still do that.
Okay.
But, like, we didn't have a wrestling team at my school.
Mm.
So hold on, let me backtrack a little bit more. Sorry.
How did
I
you
always knew that
practice?
I always knew that I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I had a surgery a while, like it was a major surgery. So I had hip surgery. I had watched The Ultimate Fighter, right? And I was like, oh, this is cool, right?
Yeah.
Completely, like I watched the entire first season, second season. I don't know how, but I completely forget about it.
Okay.
I completely forget about it. I'm like, that's cool. Being a manager on my football team, second year of high school, I'm like, I want to do something competitive. I still love wrestling. I want to wrestle. So I got a petition up at my school because we're a small town. So me me thinking I know how the town works and how the school works, they're not just gonna let us, they were gonna fight me on it. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get a petition going. And the way my school was set up was that we had 4 lunches throughout the day, right?
Good.
So I printed out a bunch of sign up sheets, petition sheets, and handed them to a bunch of my friends that were in the different lunch periods.
Yeah.
And by the first lunch period, we had over 80 signatures.
Oh, okay. What was the petition or your petition?
to get a wrestling team started
Oh,
at
okay,
school.
gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. So
Did it
we had,
happen?
yeah, it happened. That's what I was leading into.
No,
So
dude, that's awesome. That's so cool.
I took it. So the end of the first lunch period, I take the papers to the principal, who I was really cool with, by the way. I love that lady to death. She's awesome. I took it to her and I'm like, hey, is it okay if we petition? She's like, for what? I was like, I want to get a wrestling team started. She's like, all you had to do was come ask me because I want to get a wrestling team started too.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So
Cool.
wrestling team starts. I go 0-33. I wrestled 2 years, my junior year and my senior year.
Mm,
I go 0-33. Don't win any matches, right?
okay.
Um, so but I'm like, I'm coming up on the end of my senior year, and I'm
Well,
like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Then I remember I ended up watching a marathon of The Ultimate Fighter at some point,
yeah.
and I, for some reason, I don't know why I didn't remember what The Ultimate Fighter was, but it was like the entire show, and I'm like, I want to do that after high school. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Nice.
Um, so after, so after wrestling and graduating high school, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I ended up, where I was at, where I'm at, there wasn't a team here, nothing like that. So what I did was I started getting together with some of my friends from the wrestling team that knew a little bit about MMA, and I started working with them. And then we met the guy who I consider my first coach, um, through them, and the rest is history from that point. Been on the
Hey,
ride ever since.
that's an awesome story, man. Your petition for your high school instead of wrestling team, and you made it happen. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Do they still have the wrestling team today? Do you know?
Oh yeah. If they get rid of it, they're gonna have to kill me.
Oh, dude, that's incredible, man. So, I found, jiu-jitsu kind of later in life. I was always kind of protected from sports kind of. I mean, my dad would let me do whatever, but I was never good at sports until I found jiu-jitsu. And so, how have you been able to handle kind of the difficulties of training? Because man, like for the people listening who don't know, jiu-jitsu is a tough sport, man. It's hard. Like even like we're the people who you know, what's that saying? We're like being old in a sport where people quit young. Like that's us. We're like we're in a sport where people quit even if they're like able-bodied. So, how have you dealt with the difficulties of training and doing all that?
Whoa, man, that's a good question. I just, I think for me, because like you said, it's really tough, and people quit even when they're able-bodied. Like you said, I've seen so many people come and go, man. It's not even funny. But I think for me, I just I know what I want, and
Mhm.
I kind of set smaller goals for myself to get to the bigger goals,
Mhm.
and like I keep my eyes set on that, like, and I there's I'm not gonna lie, there's been times where I've thought about quitting and just walking away forever, but then I'm like, nah, that ain't who I am. I can't do that.
Mhm.
Like
No,
we gotta get here, then we gonna get here, then we gonna get here, and we gonna see where it takes us. Like
like,
we ain't giving up on this. Like you found, because wrestling is mostly, you start off on your feet, so
yeah,
my balance isn't optimal for wrestling, straight up wrestling.
yeah,
So going into jujitsu to being able to work off the floor is it's an incredible advantage for me. I spent most of my life on the floor, like, hello,
so,
you know what I
okay.
mean? So like
Yeah,
it 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 was a world opener for me. And like I said, I kept my eyes on the goals that I wanted to achieve, and that's just how I get through it.
Okay. That's
Even
good.
if it's even if it's smaller goals to get to the bigger goals. Like one day, like if I go in the gym one day and I'm like, okay, I need to work on not being submitted. I don't care about anything else. I just don't want to get submitted today,
No.
or at to the best of my ability. Or if it's like, okay, I need to work on getting out from being under the bottom. I need to not be on the bottom uh, as much as I can today
No.
to get to a bigger goal of maybe, oh, let me go do 3 competitions this year.
No.
I've always set smaller goals. I've always set goals for myself and kept myself looking towards them. And that's what's kind of helped me stay motivated in it, even when times get hard.
Yeah.
And times have been hard.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And hey, I think we all hit that point where, we wanted to quit and been like, why am I doing this nonsense? But,
Yep.
I think that serves, you know, you know how to persevere through the hard times, you know what I mean? Because, like, it does it really hard. And there are times where
Mm-hmm.
we feel like we've kind of plateaued and we're not getting any better. Those are the hardest times, man, where I feel like I'm just, like, plateaued and I'm not improving. Those are the hardest times.
Yep.
Kinda.
Yep. Yep. I agree 100%. It's almost like you can recognize when you start to plateau too at this point on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm stagnant. I'm here again. How do I push myself back? That's one thing I struggle with is I'm like, oh, I'm still in the same spot. I've got to go up. How do I get up?
Yeah. So, has jujitsu helped you at all, like, as far as like being therapeutic for your disability? Like, have you gotten stronger, more flexible, or any kind of
Oh
thing
yeah.
like that?
I tell people all the time, man, jujitsu saved my life,
Yeah.
essentially. Like like people say that and like it's just a saying to some people, but no, legitimately, jujitsu saved my life because um I've had one MMA fight since I've started,
No, nice.
and
That's
that
cool.
and that was a whole big thing. Like I had to go get cleared by so many doctors.
Yeah.
Every doctor that I went to see that knew me and knew what I was going through was like, "Why not?" Because if you wasn't doing it, you'd be way worse off.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, jujitsu saved my life because I would be confined to a wheelchair if I hadn't been doing it.
Yeah.
My hips are way more functional now because I started. Now they're still tight, but
Yeah.
I have a lot more use of it than I did before I started jujitsu.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure. And I,
yeah,
I saw your matches. I met Matt the Rose Ferrucci Invitational back in August, and I watched your matches, man. You did good out there, dude. Like you did really good out there. Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate it, man. I
try
appreciate
not
it.
to
Still
get
got
too.
a lot of work to do.
Man, we
Still
got
got
we all got work to do, man. Like I lose all the time too when they go compete, and we're still going out there and making it
yeah,
known that para jiu-jitsu is a growing thing, and hopefully,
yeah, yeah,
hopefully we
yep,
can
for sure,
expand it. So,
for sure, for sure.
moving away from jiu-jitsu, how has it affected you, like, in your daily life, like mentally or spiritually or, physically?
I think I think growing up it was more physical
Mm-hmm.
where the effectiveness was. It was like um I hate climbing upstairs, I hate climbing in and out of the tub. I hate um climbing in and out of bed some days.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I've overcome that to such a great point where now I'm not so much worried about the physical. It's more the mental stuff. like mentally,
Good.
it's okay. The mental struggle for me is okay. I know I can do this, and I know it might take me a while, and I'm gonna hate that it's gonna take me a while, or it's maybe I can't do it. Like it's the whole battle. It's the internal struggle with yourself of should I not, should I try, should I not,
Uh-huh.
and it it doesn't have to be anything sports related. It can be anything in life.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
I'm like even with my podcast, it was like, do I do it? Like, what if people make fun of me, or what if nobody watches? Like, it's the mental thing of
Uh-huh.
do you want to put it out there and better yourself and try to help other people, or do you want to
Yeah.
be scared of what people think? It's
Yeah.
those like tiny mental battles you got with yourself, and I think
Yeah.
that's that's been my uh most prominent struggle with it. More than it's not really physical, it's more mental.
Mhm.
Spiritually, I keep my faith because I know that I would not be where I am without God. You know,
But
there is no there's no other explanation.
yeah. So, I try to offer, encouragement on this podcast. So, if someone's listening, I don't have the whole, demographics thing down yet, but, if someone's listening and, they're kind of discouraged because of their disability and they're kind of struggling, how would you encourage them? It doesn't have to be CP, it could be anything, but how would you encourage them?
I I've dealt with people with multiple different disabilities, and a lot of them have come to me and said, "I can't do that because of my disability." I'm like, my biggest thing is like, "Have you tried it?"
Mm.
It's like, "No, because I'm afraid," or "No, because I don't think I can." It's like you don't know until you try. Like I tell people that all the time, and I'm like, and if they're around me in a physical sense, I'm like, "Come on, I'll do it with you."
Yeah,
Like in it,
sure.
I'll help you as best as I can. I've had people. I try to be as open as I can to help anybody because I know what it feels like. I'm sure you know what it feels like to want to do something, especially if you think it means something to you, and not having that extra push or not having that support system to be there for people. But all I would say is try it. At least give it a try. That's my biggest encouragement. Or find somebody that can help push you to try it.
No,
If you feel like you don't have the motivation to try, you have the idea, you have the want to, but you don't have the extra oomph to go out there and actually execute it. That's a lot of my problem. Is I can put the idea together and I have the fear of execution, and I finally just have to kick myself in the butt and be like, hey, let's go.
yeah,
Like you're not gonna know unless you do it, so do it.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure, and that's good. Just, there's so many things. I'm 32 now, so and there's so many things that I wanted to try as like a kid or a young adult, and I didn't because I was scared, and so you know. And I feel like I missed out on a couple of things here and there. I mean, granted, I don't know how I would have played out or whatever, but I feel like fear is a big thing that people with disabilities and normal people deal with a lot. So that's good. Basically just do it. Like Nike, just do it.
Yeah, I mean that sound. I know it sounds cliche. I know it does,
Yep.
but I mean, what else are you gonna do? You either are or you're not.
Yep.
So, and don't give me that. This is not me saying I've done everything I ever wanted to do. Like, no, I've been scared and actually not done something I said I wanted to do or really wanted to try.
Yeah.
I've backed out of things. I haven't done every goal that I've set out for myself, or I haven't tried everything I wanted to try in life. Because I mean, I have my fears too, but I mean, you gotta prioritize how much it means to you, how much you actually want to do it, versus you just thinking you want.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah. So even us, we I don't know, I think people see me and they're like, "Hey, I couldn't do what you do." I'm like, "Well, you don't know how scared I get sometimes either, man. Like we all get scared, we all
Yep,
get nervous,
yep.
and
People,
oh, go ahead, yeah, go
people,
ahead."
people say that to me too, and I'm like, bro, you have no idea. I was before me and you rolled
Uh-huh.
at Rolls for Lucy, I was in full blown panic mode.
Oh yeah.
I was I was like freaking out,
Uh-huh.
and my brother that was with me, he could tell. He was like, "Hey," he's like, "You're good, just chill." I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm freaking out. I'm starting to sweat before I even did anything, and I'm like, I don't. I was like, I gotta calm down, dog. I'm freaking out right now.
Yeah.
And then you asked me, did I want to warm up a little bit? And I was like, yeah, please.
Yeah.
So, and that really settled me because I wasn't gonna back out or anything, but I would have not performed as well as I did had I not rolled with you and calmed down because I was scared.
Oh well,
Not scared.
I'm
Not
glad you
I'm
helped
not gonna say
out.
scared. I'm not gonna say scared. I was anxious. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you helped out, man. I mean, I was anxious too, man, because that was my first time competing in like a super match style, like
Yeah,
submission only, with like a bunch of people watching the match.
yeah,
So like, there was a lot. There was a lot.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's
like we were all probably a little bit nervous here and there.
yeah, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And that's the thing is like you have to embrace what scares you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's another piece of that advice I would give people is embrace the fear because once you push through it, nothing else is gonna be as hard as what you just did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good, man. I like that. I like that. So, you were saying earlier that like you wouldn't be here uh without God. And so, do you mind sharing a little bit about what you believe about like God and like having a disability? Does that mess with your faith at all? Or
It used to,
you used to? Okay.
yeah, it used to. Well, I'm a Christian, so
Yeah, same here,
let's
man.
let's
Yeah, same here.
let's yeah, okay, so yeah, but it used to mess with me a little bit because I spent many years in the church with my family, and I don't know if I ever asked my parents or my mom this because my mom was more the religious and church going one versus my dad. I don't know if I ever asked him like why me?
Okay.
Why am I going through this if I'm a child? I don't think I've ever asked that, but I could feel it, and I would think it to myself, and I probably said it a couple of times in prayers and like show me why, or give me a sign as to why. But then as I got older, I'm like, I started to realize this is why. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you put me in this position to show that this is your glory, this is your power. Like
Mhm.
even though I have this disability, look at all the things I can do through the glory of God, man.
Mhm.
It's and I say it all the time. I am deathly terrified of public speaking, like physically. Like I can do this all day
Yeah.
because to me it's just us talking. But to get up in front of people and talk
Mhm.
and tell my story,
Mhm.
is deathly terrifying to me. And people are like, "Why?" I'm like, because people should be able to look at me and tell
Mhm.
that I say that all the time. Like people are like, why don't you tell your story? I'm like, because you can't look at me and tell. I'm not here by my I'm here by my will, but I'm here because it's God's will for me to be here. Like I'm not here by my will. I have my will because it's God's will for me to be this way.
Okay.
And this is how I tell my story.
Amen, man. That's awesome. Well, I'm running out of time on the Zoom call, so I'll let you promote your
I got you.
channel. How can people find you if they want to find you?
Yeah. The channel is Sane Soldier Project. You can find it on YouTube at Adaptive SSJ. You can find me on Instagram at Adaptive SSJ. Facebook is just Matthew Burton. Um, yeah, I think that's everything.
All right, good.
Adaptive SSJ, Adaptive SSJ. You can find me. Y'all, please check it out. We're doing some big things. Keep following Alan. Alan's doing some big things.
Appreciate it, man. What you heard here first, go check out my friend Matt's channel. He's doing great stuff over there on his show. Matt, appreciate you coming on the podcast, encouraging everybody, inspiring everybody. And we'll talk to you next time, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, yes, sir. No problem, man.
So thanks again to Matt for coming on the show. I really enjoyed talking to him. And if you want to check out his podcast, it's called Stay Soldier Project. I'm gonna leave all the links in the description. Go check him out, give him a sub, and if you like this content, give me a sub, give me a like. Go follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Subpar Grappling. And I appreciate you watching the show. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, all those good stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time on the mats. Look, of course.